everyone, welcome to another Tutorial Tip Tuesday. Today we're just going to talk real quick about lighting again. People ask me all the time, how do I do my backlighting? And is there light in front of the subject? Because when they see the images, the subject looks glowy and dreamy and amazing. And I say, no, it's backlighting. So the lights are behind the subject. So I'm going to show you and explain that. The other thing people say is, what light do I buy? I don't know what light do I buy. Listen, if you're just starting out, it's all about budget. How much money do you have to spend? Everyone knows that I use Profoto lighting, but however, Profoto lighting is expensive. It's something you really want to invest in. I love the lights, especially because I don't need any power cords. And so I use them all the time, but I have a satellite studio. And in my satellite studio, I have Alienbee and Einstein. And the lights that I'm going to show you are so old. I think I've had them, I don't even know, maybe 10 years. If you look, my cones are all bent. They've been around the world. These cones have probably traveled to 20 different countries. I have Alienbee 400, and I also have Einstein. I also have Alienbee 800. Now, Alienbee is great if you're on a budget, if you're just starting out. They're relatively inexpensive. If you're getting Alienbee, I'd get 400, not 800 if you're doing newborn photography. 800 is very powerful. 400 is all you need. So if I was doing backlighting, I would have two 400s on the backlight. Einstein is a little bit more money, but I find that they are pretty stable. Both of them are from Paul Buff, so they're both really good lights. I really like Einstein if you have a little bit more money to spend. They're great lights. They're very durable. They're reliable. For newborn photography, understand that the lights are usually powered almost all the way down because I'm usually shooting at 2.8. At the end of the day, light is light. I've used Godox, Alienbee, Einstein, Profoto. I've been traveling. I've taught in over 33 countries, you guys. I've used lights all over the world. Sometimes when I show up, I don't even know what light I'm going to use. At the end of the day, light is light. You want to learn how to use it. In a studio environment, you're in control of that light. So if I want to shoot at 2.8, that means I turn the lights all the way down. For backlighting, I'm requiring that the light illuminate the background and reflect around. I'm standing on 12-foot wide paper, and usually this paper is rolled out about 10 feet. The subject is usually about 4 feet away from the backdrop, and I'm another 4 feet away from this subject. So I'm looking at about 8 feet from where I am to the background. Now, you can do backlighting on a painted wall, on a sink wall. The only time I don't really think backlighting works so well is if you're using fabric, because fabric absorbs light. So I don't use backlighting for muslin or any type of material. You want either white paper, which is very reflective, a sink wall, which of course is amazing because the light bounces everywhere, or just painted floor. I've done backlighting everywhere. I've done it in homes, in kitchens, in some of the best studios in the world, and just in my humble little studio on 12-foot wide paper. We want the light to reflect and wrap around the paper. A lot of people ask me if I have modifiers in the front or reflectors or diffusers, and I say no. I don't use any reflectors or diffusers in my studio. I allow the light to bounce around the paper. When I am using backlighting, the lights are pushed as far as they can to the background. They're usually full power, and they're usually slightly higher than the subject. And if it's anything other than a Profoto, you need these cones on it to direct the light. Otherwise, it'll spill everywhere. If you're using Profoto, you don't need these cones. And any type of light that you have should be able to have these reflective cones. I'm usually at f11 and 200. I keep my shutter and ISO the same so that the only variable I need to work on is the aperture. Again, it really depends on the type of studio. Do you have dark walls, light walls? I have light walls, the light bounces around. If I'm in a darker studio, the backlighting is not so easy because it absorbs. So years ago, I was shooting in Dubai, and half the studio was black and half the studio was white. And we were losing light because it was being absorbed by the black. So we ended up using V-flats and kind of just created a little box and bounced light back and forth. So if you have V-flats, foam core boards, you can bounce light and control the spill if you have really dark walls. But just understand that darker walls, the light will absorb. Now, I teach more in depth in my online education, bellybabyschool.com, and you can visit my annabrandeducation.com to find out my in-person workshops. I really want you as a photographer in your journey, whether you're just starting out or you've been around a while, to experiment. There's so many different lights. There's so many different modifiers. There's really no right or wrong of which light to use. It's the budget and how much time you have to invest and spend learning your light. Hey YouTube, thanks for coming to my channel. My name is Anna Brand, and I would love if you would subscribe. By subscribing to my channel, you'll be notified of all of the amazing new content that we're working on for the future, and we'd love for you to be a part of it.